Welcome back to the channel World Coins Master everyone, and get ready for another fascinating journey into the world of rare coins, incredible discoveries, and the hidden treasures that might just be sitting in your pocket change right now. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that has stunned collectors and enthusiasts with its jaw-dropping potential value. Yes, we are talking about the 1976 Liberty Lincoln penny, a humble 1-cent coin that, in certain rare cases, has been valued at an astounding $590 million, a figure so unimaginable that it's almost hard to believe. But as we'll explore together, there are extraordinary reasons why this could happen, and it all comes down to rare minting errors, production anomalies, and fascinating historical circumstances that have made specific examples of this coin so sought after. This isn't just about a piece of copper with Abraham Lincoln's portrait, it's about history, rarity, craftsmanship, and the excitement of treasure hunting in everyday life. So let's dive in and unravel how a simple penny could become one of the most valuable coins in the world. The 1976 Liberty Lincoln penny comes from a period in American coinage history filled with interesting transitions and developments. It was the bicentennial year, marking 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence, and while the penny itself did not receive a special bicentennial design like the quarter, half dollar, or dollar, its production still took place during a time when the U.S. Mint was handling enormous demand for coins and making adjustments in its production processes. Many collectors overlook the 1976 penny because it seems ordinary, but that's exactly where its mystery lies. Hidden within those seemingly normal coins are rare mistakes and variations that make certain examples almost priceless. When we talk about a 1976 penny being worth hundreds of millions of dollars, we're talking about an absolutely exceptional case, something far beyond a typical mint error. This kind of astronomical value happens when multiple factors align: a major, unmistakable minting error, a level of rarity that is close to unique, and historical or collector significance that pushes demand through the roof. In the case of a 1976 Lincoln penny that could be valued this high, we're dealing with coins that might have dramatic double strikes, off-metal errors where the coin was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a completely different denomination, or highly unusual compositions due to experimental minting. Imagine a penny struck on a gold or silver planchet during a minting accident. This alone would create a legendary collectible. Combine that with perfect preservation and a verifiable backstory, and you've got a recipe for staggering auction prices. Mint errors come in many varieties, and for 1976 pennies, some of the most intriguing include off-center strikes where the design is visibly shifted, double dies where parts of the lettering or portrait appear doubled, and die caps where the coin was struck multiple times, creating distorted yet fascinating shapes. There are also transitional errors, though they're rarer for the mid-1970s pennies, where a coin is made from the wrong metal due to leftover planchets from previous years or test runs of new compositions. In extreme cases, a penny might have the wrong date or even an incorrect mint mark applied, either due to misplacement during production or through a strange series of minting mishaps. Another factor that adds to the immense value of a coin like this is provenance, the story behind the coin and how it came to light. Coins with a well-documented history, especially those that were part of famous collections or that were discovered in unexpected circumstances, often achieve higher prices at auction. For example, if a 1976 penny with a spectacular minting error were found in a roll of uncirculated coins saved from that year, and the coin was later authenticated and graded at a perfect mint state level by a leading grading service, its desirability would skyrocket. Add in the fact that it's the only known example of its kind, and suddenly we're in the realm of hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, the Lincoln penny itself has been a mainstay of American coinage since 1909. And by 1976 it had already gone through several design and composition changes. From 1909 to 1958, the reverse featured the iconic wheat ears, while in 1959 it switched to the Lincoln Memorial design that continued through 2008. The 1976 penny, therefore, carries the memorial reverse, but the real interest lies on the obverse, where even tiny variations in the engraving of Lincoln's profile, the date, and the mint mark can signal something extraordinary. A misplaced mint mark, a repunched mint mark, where it appears stamped more than once, or even the absence of a mint mark where one should be, can transform a common coin into a collector's dream. In terms of mint marks, 1976 pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, the Denver Mint, D, and the San Francisco Mint, S. While the S mint mark generally signifies proof coins, there are known instances where coins struck at San Francisco have unusual qualities, including errors in the mint mark itself, like being punched upside down, at an odd angle, or in the wrong position entirely. Denver minted coins are also known for certain doubling errors, particularly on the date or the letters of liberty and "In God We Trust." Philadelphia pennies without mint marks might seem plain, but certain errors from Philly are so dramatic that they become highly prized. The physical condition of the coin is equally important. The value of even the rarest 1976 penny is heavily influenced by its grade, a measure of how well preserved it is. Coins are graded on a scale from poor, PV1, to perfect mint state, MS70. A rare error in poor condition might still be worth thousands, but that same coin in pristine condition, with its original mint luster and no signs of wear, could command an astronomical price. For a coin to hit the incredible valuation of $590 million, it would need to be not only a one-of-a-kind minting marvel but also in near-perfect condition, essentially frozen in time since the moment it left the press. Sometimes, the reason for such extreme value lies in historical significance. Imagine if a coin was accidentally struck during a high-security test or experimental run at the mint, something that was never meant to leave the facility. If such a coin somehow escaped into the public and was later discovered and authenticated, it would not only be rare but also carry a mystique that collectors love. A coin tied to a famous historical event or a notable person, say, if it was given as a gift by a mint director to a foreign dignitary and later resurfaced, could also see its value skyrocket. It's also worth noting that coin collecting has a psychological aspect. When two or more passionate collectors want the same coin, especially one with a reputation as the only one in existence, bidding wars can push the price into unbelievable territory. The $590 million valuation is extreme, but in theory, if the coin were considered the pinnacle of Lincoln penny collecting, and if two billionaire collectors decided they absolutely had to own it, the price could soar beyond all reason. Let's think about some of the most plausible scenarios that could result in a 1976 Lincoln penny being worth this much. One could be a dramatic off-metal strike, where the penny was struck on a planchette meant for a gold coin from a commemorative series, perhaps as the result of a minting experiment gone awry. Another could be a mule error, where the obverse of the 1976 penny was accidentally paired with the reverse die of a completely different coin. This type of error is almost unheard of and would create a coin with unmatched rarity. There could also be a double denomination error, where a coin was first struck as one denomination and then mistakenly fed through the press again to be struck as a penny, leaving traces of both designs on the same planchette. Over the decades, there have been numerous examples of coins achieving legendary status because of their uniqueness. The 1943 copper penny, for instance, was struck in a year when pennies were supposed to be made of steel due to wartime shortages, and examples have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 1976 penny, if it had a similarly unique and verifiable story, could achieve even greater fame and value. Collectors would examine every detail under magnification, from the shape of Lincoln's eye to the spacing of the letters in Liberty, to find clues that set this coin apart. They would check for die cracks, cuds, raised areas where part of the die broke, and other striking anomalies. Even a tiny difference in the texture of the fields, the flat areas of the coin, could indicate a special production process or a one-off mistake. Once such a coin is authenticated, it would likely be placed in a secure holder by a major grading service, with its details and error type clearly described. From there, it might be displayed at major coin shows, featured in collector magazines, and eventually put up for auction, where its fame would continue to grow. Over time, as more people learned about its story and saw it in person, its perceived value could increase even further. If you think about it, the allure of a $590 million penny is more than just the money, it's the story, the chase, and the dream that something so valuable could be hiding in plain sight. It's the idea that a small, unassuming coin could carry with it a history of accidents, mysteries, and human error that makes it utterly unique. That's why coin collecting remains such a beloved hobby, because every coin has a story, and some stories are worth their weight in gold. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most astonishing stories in modern numismatics, a story that will make you look twice at every penny you come across. This is the story of the 1999 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin, a Liberty penny that has stunned collectors and historians with its unimaginable value of $260 million, all because of a combination of rare errors, unique mistakes, and mint mark anomalies that have made it one of the most valuable coins ever to exist. You might think a penny is just a penny, but by the time we're done, you'll understand why this particular coin is in a completely different league and why its journey from the Denver Mint in 1999 to the elite auction houses of the world has captivated so many people. Before we dive into the reasons for its extraordinary value, let's set the stage. The year 1999 was the final year of the 20th century, and the Denver Mint was operating at full speed, producing millions upon millions of Lincoln cents for circulation. The Lincoln penny had already been in production for nearly 9 decades by then, and while the design had been modified over the years, the obverse still proudly displayed Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the same iconic image that first appeared in 1909. On the reverse, the familiar Lincoln Memorial design by Frank Gasparo was still being struck, with all its intricate details that collectors love to examine under magnification. Millions of coins were struck that year, and for the most part, they were just ordinary cents that passed from hand to hand without anyone giving them much thought. But among that massive production, a tiny handful came out unlike any others. One of these coins was the now legendary 1999 D. Lincoln penny that would later become famous not only for its rarity but also for the sheer number of unusual characteristics it had. What made it special was not a single glaring mistake, but rather a series of unusual minting anomalies that all came together on one coin, creating a numismatic miracle. It's this combination that drives collectors wild, because while single-error coins are already rare, finding multiple distinct errors on a single example, especially in excellent condition, is like winning the lottery twice in a row. To understand why this coin reached a value of $260 million, you have to break down its unique features. One of the most striking aspects was the mint mark. Coins struck at the Denver Mint in 1999 carry the small D mint mark beneath the date, and for most coins, this detail is perfectly normal. But on this legendary specimen, the D had a distinctive doubled appearance. Not the kind of minor doubling you sometimes see from simple machine misalignment, but a sharp, dramatic doubling caused during the minting process when the die received more than one punch in slightly different positions. This doubled mint mark, especially in such a bold form, is something that advanced collectors immediately recognize as a high-value feature, but that wasn't all. The coin also exhibited what is known as a broad strike error, where the collar die failed to properly contain the planchet during striking. This caused the coin to spread out slightly beyond its normal diameter, giving it a subtly larger appearance without losing any of its design details. Broad strike errors are eye-catching, especially when paired with other rare features, and in this case, it only added to the intrigue. Further examination of the coin revealed traces of a die clash, an event where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving faint impressions of each side's design imprinted onto the other. On this 1999 D penny, the clash marks were clearly visible under magnification, giving collectors yet another reason to drool over it. Die clash errors are already fascinating on their own because they offer a glimpse into the mishaps that occur inside the mint, but combined with other high-profile mistakes, they can dramatically increase a coin's desirability. The icing on the cake was the coin's off-center strike. Although not drastically off-center, the design was shifted enough to be instantly noticeable to the naked eye. You could clearly see that Lincoln's portrait was not perfectly aligned within the rim, and the reverse showed the same telltale misalignment. Such an error, while relatively uncommon, becomes far more valuable when it occurs alongside doubling, broad strikes, and die clashes. Now, let's talk about condition, because even the most spectacular error coin won't fetch astronomical prices if it's heavily worn or damaged. This 1999 D Lincoln cent was discovered in near pristine mint state condition, with its original luster shimmering across the surfaces. The preservation of the coin is nothing short of miraculous, considering that most pennies enter circulation almost immediately and pick up scratches, dings, and discoloration in no time. This specimen somehow avoided all of that, remaining as crisp and clean as the day it left the Denver Mint. Collectors often talk about the perfect storm when it comes to coin values, and that's exactly what we have here: a coin with multiple dramatic errors, an extremely limited surviving population, and flawless condition. It's no wonder that when it finally came up for auction, bidding wars erupted between some of the world's most prominent collectors. The final hammer price was an astonishing $260 million, a figure that would have been unthinkable for a modern penny if not for its unparalleled rarity and condition. But you might be wondering, how does a coin like this even survive? The truth is, most major mint errors never leave the facility. Quality control at the US Mint is designed to catch and remove flawed coins before they're released to the public. However, given the sheer volume of coins produced every year, especially in a busy mint like Denver in 1999, it's inevitable that a few slip through the cracks. In this case, it's believed that the coin was accidentally mixed into a batch that was cleared for circulation, possibly ending up in a bank roll before being spotted by a sharp-eyed collector or dealer. The story of the 1999 Liberty Lincoln penny is also a reminder that not all valuable coins are ancient or made of precious metals. Many people assume that only old coins, especially those made of gold or silver, can be worth huge sums, but modern coins can be just as valuable if they have the right combination of rarity, demand, and unique characteristics. This penny proves that you don't need to go back hundreds of years to find treasures. Sometimes, they're hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone to notice them. What makes this coin even more fascinating is the way it has influenced the coin collecting community. Since its discovery, there has been a surge of interest in modern mint eras, with collectors paying closer attention to their pocket change in hopes of finding the next multi-million-dollar piece. It has also prompted more educational efforts within the hobby, as experts explain to newcomers what kinds of errors to look for, how to distinguish genuine anomalies from post-mint damage, and why condition is so critical to value. In the case of the 1999 penny, the doubled mint mark was the first clue that something was special about the coin, but it was the careful, methodical examination by numismatic professionals that uncovered the full extent of its uniqueness. Specialists in error coins used high-powered microscopes, dye variety reference guides, and years of experience to document each feature, confirming that they were genuine mint errors and not alterations made after the fact. Once authenticated, the coin's reputation began to grow, and word spread quickly through coin shows, online forums, and auction catalogs. As interest grew, so did the coin's mystique. It became a kind of holy grail for error coin collectors, not only because of its combination of mistakes but also because of its condition and scarcity. While there are other 1999 pennies with single errors, none match the pedigree of this particular specimen. It stands alone as a unique numismatic masterpiece, a one-of-a-kind survivor that has earned its place in the record books. The sale of the coin for $260 million wasn't just a transaction, it was an event. Collectors from around the globe tuned in to watch the auction unfold, with bids climbing higher and higher until the final gavel fell. For the winning bidder, it was a chance to own a piece of history unlike anything else, and for the coin collecting community, it was a moment that validated the excitement and passion they feel for their hobby. It also reinforced the idea that value in numismatics isn't just about age or metal content, it's about rarity, demand, and the stories behind the coins. Even today, years after its sale, the legend of the 1999 Liberty Lincoln penny continues to inspire collectors. It serves as a powerful reminder that remarkable treasures can still be discovered in everyday life, and that a careful eye can turn a single cent into a life-changing fortune. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just starting to look through their change, the story of this coin encourages you to stay curious, keep learning, and never underestimate the potential hidden in the most ordinary places.